All right, so in this question, we want to answer to the questions from A through E, right? All right, so the first question, we are required to do scatter plot. So again, what you want to do here, you want to figure out the centers on the problem that give you the dependent and independent variables, right? And the first sentence I think is important here because a box office analysis seek to predict, right? So what we are predicting is the opening weekend box office gross, right? The gross from the income of movies, right? So we know the predicted value is going to be the gross for the movies, right? Toward this goal, the analysts plan to use the YouTube trailers. So as a predictor, right? So the predictor is YouTube trailers. So how can I elaborate more on this? As you know, if you're gonna do your scatter plot, you're gonna have two axes, X and the Y's. The X is always the independent variable, and the Y is always the dependent variable, right? So what this means is, it means that the Y is going to be expressed as a function of B1 X plus B0, right? Okay, so now the independent value is the predictor, and the dependent value is always the predicted value, all right? Okay, so I think this is clear. If I go back right here, so the predictor value is going to be the trailer, and the gross is going to be the predicted value, right? So the predictor is going to be trailer, that's what you're going to have, and the gross is going to be the predicted value, right? So now I have 4 charts and I can eliminate some of them. So what I want the trailer on the bottom. So this is good. And the trailer here is good. However, the gross here is bad and this is bad, right? So I am between B and E. Now, how can I get the scatter plot and figure out from this? I'm gonna go click on this icon here. And then you're gonna scroll on this side and you look for this window, right? Click on it and open in Excel. Okay, done. And as you can see, it's already downloaded. Let's open it. All right, enable editing, and this is my data, right? So the first thing to do is click somewhere outside of this chart, and you're gonna go to insert, and then you're gonna go to chart. You click on the dots here. This is what we want. Scatter, so the scatter plot, and as usual we get an empty chart. Now on that empty chart, you're gonna right click, you open, and you select data, and in this window you're gonna add a new series. Now the series name is not important. Again, you can name it whatever you want. So what we care about is the series X values. So I'm gonna click on this small window or click inside the box, and we said the X values you can be the trailer. So YouTube trailers, you select all the values from here, from the first one, and drag it down all the way to the end. Okay, we reached the end, and that's it. Open this back, and I'm gonna go back to the Y values here, and I'm gonna delete this. Click on the window, open it, and go back all the way on the top. Okay, so again, make sure that the cell is empty. Click on the first value here and hold the key, and all the way to the bottom. All right, you gotta be careful. You cannot select less values or more values, they have to match, right? As many as in the X values, there are as many on the Y values, right? And that's basically it, right? So you're gonna go here, you say okay, and okay again, and this is your scatter plot, as you can see it, right? Now, the only thing I need so far is the scatter plot, right? So let's go to the exercise, and obviously we are selecting between the B and the D, and obviously this looks more like B, definitely more than B. So we can expand it here, we can zoom in, and yeah, it's more like B, right? And you are all set. Check it, is good. Now they're asking you to here, there is a linear relationship, all right? And what they want you to figure out what is B0 and B1. All right, so they want 2 decimal places and 3 decimal places for the B1. All right, so we can use this chart here the same way, right? So how can I get the equation? The simplest way, click on one of the points, select one of the points, all right, one of the points, doesn't matter which one, and then right click. So once you get this menu here, you're gonna go to add trend line. So whenever you add a trend line, you're gonna get another table, and make sure you are in linear mode. You don't want to be in other mode. So the only mode we are learning so far. So linear mode here, and you're gonna scroll down, and you're gonna display the equation on the chart. So this is gonna be, once you click on this, you can see the equation right here. All right. Just to make it more visible, you select it and you increase the size of the font, right? So that's how you get it. Okay, so this is your equation displayed on the chart. You just have to copy it later on, all right? There's another thing that for the trend line, all right? So what you could have done, let me do it again. Right click, add a trend line. And what you could have done as well, besides displaying the equation, you could have displayed the R squared. So R squared, you can do it the same way. So this is right here, the R squared. And you can select it all and then increase the size. So the R squared basically gives you how your model is reliable. So it's only 66% or 66.74% reliable, right? So that's the explain it variable. Okay. I think we are ready to go to the answer. Let's go back to the problem. We are looking for B0, and B0 has to be 2 decimal places. So B0 is going to be a negative value, and you're going to be 0.9169, so that's going to be 2 decimal places, so you're going to be 92, right? And the B1 is going to be positive slope, as you can see it is going upward, so 3 decimal places, so you're going to be 1.4061, so that's 6. Okay, 406, 1.406. And let's check it. Okay, great. Okay, so here we need actually the first part. So do you see the values here? They are in millions and millions. So here, this over here, millions. So what does mean? If you increase the number of trailers views by 1 million, usually the gross is gonna increase by 1.4 million. All right, they are both in millions. So that's basically the definition. Every increase in the X with 1 unit is gonna be interpreted by an increase in the Y's by B1 value. So it has to be 1 million in the number of viewers. So it's not this one because this is increase the gross 1 million. So I'm not taking the A. And predict the number of gross. 1 million. Here you go. I think the D is a good one. For each increase of 1 million in YouTube traders, all right, we predict an opening weekend box office gross is expected to increase with 1.406. All right, that's the B1, right? And that should be our answer. So let's check it. Okay, we got it. Okay, we want to figure out that we have 15 million YouTube trader viewers. All right, and we want to predict how much the gross, right? So if I'm going to write it down, what I'm supposed to do is to calculate the y hat, basically, right? So we know this y hat is going to be B1x plus B0, and this is going to be 1.406 times x in million, all right, times 50 millions, all right. It's going to be plus B0, well, is minus 0.92, all right. You can calculate it with the calculator, plug it in, all right, and you get the value. The other way, you could use Excel, of course. All right, so let's go to Excel and try to do it. So again, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create two columns, X column and the Y column. All right, and this is, I'm going to do a small table here. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so do you see this equation? That's basically what I'm going to write down. So I can copy this part here and paste it right here. Okay, now I am in a function mode. The only thing I need to change is cancel the X, put multiplication sign, shift and 8, and then I'm going to click on the X cell next to it. So that's the location of the cell, 9 and 0, right? 09, and enter. So in the beginning, you're going to give me the B0 value because you're going to expect X is going to be 0. However, if I type in 50, which is a 50 millions, this is going to give me 69 millions 0.3881, all right? So I just created the calculator here, all right, on Excel, basically. And this is something that you are supposed to know, right? So what the benefits of this, if I have more than one value to calculate, so if I want to figure out 40 millions, for example, I just need to drag down this formula here and type in 40 instead, all right? And I get the corresponding value for 40, all right? Well, it's not intended to be done, but I hope you understand the process, right? So again, what I'm supposed to do, even if you didn't copy and paste it, I'm supposed to type it in as equal sign 1.406 multiplied shift and 8 multiplication, and then click on the 40, the cell that you want to multiply by, and then if you have positive, otherwise negative, so negative minus 0.9169. Okay, so there is an issue here that you wanna respect the approximation. So this is 92 here, and enter. And this is, if you were 50, this is basically the correct value, right? Because they want only three decimal approximation for the B1 and 2 decimal approximation for B0, right? So that's what will be 69.38 millions. All right, let's go and plug it in, and they want to 2 decimal place, right? Okay, so let's go and plug in 69 in millions, 9.38, and enter. Okay, we got it. In this question, we want to make sense of this approximation or what's going to happen. And as you can notice here, As you can notice on the chart, whenever the views increase, goes up, that's mean from 0 to 90, what happened to the y values? The y values as well goes up. Do you see? This is a positive slope, right? So this is the growth. It's going to increase as well, right? So if the views increase, the growth increase. And that's what the statement you are looking for, right? So what we have here, we have the growth increase and the trailers can be expected to decrease. It's not actually that one. The expected value has to be the growth, right? So the number of views increases and the growth expected to be increasing. And that's, I think, the right statement. The other one, all right, for this one, for C is not, because we are not talking about the opening weekend box office increases, which doesn't mean anything, right? So there is no gross income here, right? So this is definitely not saying what we did right here on the graph. All right, definitely there is a relationship. We can see the line going upward. All right, other number of YouTube trailers here, view increases, the mean. All right, this is kind of, but the gross is expected to decrease, and this is a part that is wrong, right? So it's not decreasing. The best choice still B, and let's check it, and we got it right. Okay, that's all, I think.